Well, you have read the Blessing Book, and I would hope and pray that God would have used this experience in your own life to really deepen your love for Him and how much He blesses you, and also to help you become even more aware of how you can bless others. I mean, just a real quick review, if you've come this far, we've talked about how we don't want to put the blessing out of reach, how we really need to connect with our kids. Well, how do we do that? Well, we do that by giving them those 5 elements of the blessing, kind of what we put on that blessing coin, choosing to bless them. Well, if we've come from a difficult past where our life is all knotted up, remember the word luo, that we're to forgive and be able, through what Christ has done for us, to He can reverse the curse and can put us in a position to bless others, even if we never got the blessing. And we can even give the blessing back to people that never gave it to us because of what He's done for us. Well, take all of that then, and we've asked you to take the Blessing Challenge, where instead of relationships where we just bounce off of each other and we get so busy with our kids that we just kind of bounce off of their lives, that we connect with them and we take that first step by taking the Blessing Challenge. And now as we close, I'd like to just give you one more challenge, okay? And really, here it is, and that is, there will be, I think, a temptation for a lot of us to have learned all of this, but to default, for some of us, to take a step back. Here's what I mean by that. Dr. Tony Wheeler, who's the head of our Institute for the Blessing at Berkeley College, draws, he's so much better at this. I'll get him to do this in one of these videos. And in fact, he's writing a book right now on this that'll be really good, but it's not out yet, so I can't give you the name. But Tony is a lot better artist than I am. But see, here's, me or you or whoever's read this book. And for a lot of us, frankly, when we're young, there is some level of hurt that comes into our life. Well, when we don't know what to do with that hurt, then what can happen is again, our life can be tied up in knots. Another way to put it is we can begin to operate in what we call self-protection. And that is where we begin to figure out, well, maybe I can do something in life that'll deflect the pain. So maybe it's the guy who decides, all of a sudden he's being picked on as a kid, and he's coming from a crummy home, and he starts lifting weights, and he gets bigger and he gets bigger, and he begins to realize, man, if I just lift weights, all of a sudden nobody's going to mess with me, and maybe people quit messing with him, but it doesn't deal with any of the hurt inside. Or maybe it's that lady that's read this book, and she comes from a out-of-control alcoholic home, but boy, not her room. She becomes so perfectionistic, kind of the perfect kid in an alcoholic home, where, man, if I can just control everything in my life, okay, maybe everything's out of control around me, but boy, with my hair and with my dress and with schoolwork, and if I can just do everything perfect, then maybe I won't have to experience so much pain, but we never really deal with the pain. Well, it could be just, for me, I was just, well, if I could just clown around enough and never get serious and just party enough, maybe by just doing that, I won't have to deal with the pain. All of those, I know you can tell, are really substitutes for living the blessing. So what I hope you've learned is that in a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, He knocks down the walls. He frees us to bless others. And it is this challenge then, as we close, that I want to give you is that we really realize that we are free from this point to live out the blessing. So when you go to theblessing.com, where you took the Blessing Challenge and learned all about it, guess what? You can learn how to go deeper in your church, in understanding the concept. We have a brand new book that we just did that I did with Annette Smith. It's the first fiction book that I ever wrote. If you've read the Blessing, that's kind of all the technical, how do you do it. Maybe you want to read it in the life of a person. So go deeper and read another book on the blessing, or take one of our courses online. You can even become a blessing champion for your church as you take these certificate programs, or there's even degree programs through Berkeley College that can help you become somebody that lives out the blessing. But don't just read this and go away unchanged. Thanks for changing the life of one kid through the Blessing Challenge, but there's so much to do as we walk in freedom, not behind self-protection, like Dr. Wheeler would say, but where we're really free to go out and bless others. Well, might the Lord bless you and keep you and make His face to shine upon you. Might every season of life for you be better as you walk toward the ultimate blessing we get of spending eternity with Him. So, thanks for being a part of the blessing. Lord bless you. And we'll look forward to hearing from you about what God has done as you bless others as well.